Hello, dear students. Welcome to Net English with Get Lit Nexus. You know, we don't stop at teaching, we help you learn and retain. In this video, I'll be sharing you how to memorize and remember all the important works of Nissim Ezekiel in the chronological order using a simple story-based memory technique. Let's begin. First, let's learn the titles of his poetry collections. We all know that Nissim Ezekiel is known as the father of modern Indian poetry, right? Let's see how he earned this title in a fictional story that puts together all the titles of his major poetry collections. Nissim Ezekiel was the first person to realize that it was the right time to change Indian poetry from old tradition to modern themes. Once he sensed this change, he wrote 60 poems and collectively titled as the discovery of modern India. He named that way to represent the transformation of Indian poetry from old tradition to modern themes. Among those 60 poems, the third poem alone left incomplete without an exact title. On reading that poem, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi felt that the poem was about the change and renewal, just as snake sheds its old skin and transforms into something new. So, she named the poem as Snake Skin. As she read the poem in the darkness of night, she didn't notice the hidden details of that poem. Later, when she read the poem again the next day, she realized it was not an ordinary song of transformation, rather, it was the one filled with hidden sacred elements. So, she renamed the poem as Psalms, which means the sacred songs. She was so touched by his poems, so she gave him the title, the father of modern Indian poetry. And that is the story. Now, let's decode the story and trace out the exact titles of the poetry collections of Nissim Ezekiel. Nissim Ezekiel was the first person to realize it was the time to change, right? The exact title is Time to Change and Other Poems, written in 1952. As soon as he realized, he wrote 60 poems, right? So the title of the poetry collection is also the same, 60 poems, written in 1953. Then he gave a collective title to his 60 poems, right? What was the title? The Discovery of Modern India, right? Here the exact title is The Discovery of India, written in 1956. Among those 60 poems, the third poem alone left unfinished with no exact title, right? Here the exact titles are The Third, written in 1959, The Unfinished Man, written in 1960, and The Exact Name, written in 1965. Then Indira Gandhi named the poem as Snake Skin, right? Here the exact title is Snake Skin and Other Poems, translation of the Marathi poet Indira Sant. Here Indira Gandhi stands for Indira Sant. Okay, this poetry collection is written in 1974. As she read the poem in the darkness of night, she couldn't find the hidden details, right? Here the darkness of night stands for Darkness in the title Hymns in Darkness, written in 1976. Later, the next day, she read the poem again and renamed it as Psalms to represent the sacred elements, right? Here the exact title is Latter Day Psalms, written in 1982. That's it. You have learned all the titles of the important poetry collections of Nissim Ezekiel. Now, let's look into another story to remember his plays as well. Because of the popularity that he gained after his third poem, a woman named Nalini agreed to marry him. Only after her marriage, she came to know that he is a sleepwalker. Because of his disorder, she couldn't even sleep properly. As she was deprived of sleep, she went into depression and decided to commit suicide. But before committing suicide, she wrote a note in which she said, "Don't call it suicide, because it is also a kind of murder, as Nissim Ezekiel was the core reason behind her depression." Now, let's decode the story and trace out the exact titles of his plays. Nissim Ezekiel became so popular after his third poem, right? Here, third stands for his work Three Plays, written in 1969. Because of his popularity, Nalini agreed to marry him, but only after her marriage, she came to know that he is a sleepwalker, right? Here, the exact titles of the works are Nalini, Marriage Poem, The Sleepwalkers. All these three plays are published in the same year, 1969. So, these three plays are collectively called as three plays. Nalini, being deprived of sleep, stands for the work Song of Deprivation, published in 1969. And then she left a suicide note telling that don't call it a suicide. The exact title is also the same, Don't Call It Suicide, published in 1989. That's it. You have learned all the titles of his important plays as well. Now, pause the video for a second and try to recall both the stories and also the exact titles of his poetry collections and his plays. Once you are done with this, try to attend all the following MCQs. These MCQs are really important because all the MCQs that are given here are previous year questions. So try to attend all these questions and check out the answers in the description. If you've got the answers right, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such videos. We'll see you in another video. Take very good care of yourself.